If you already own Train Sim World 5, here's the real question. Is Train Sim World 6 anything more than prettier sunsets and a marketing slogan about chaos on the rails? The answer is both yes and only barely. This is the most immersive, best presented entry to date, but the upgrade from 5 to 6 feels more like a careful tune-up than a new engine. So the payoff for sticking with me, exactly where TSW6 earns your money, where it wastes your time, and the clean decision tree for fans versus newcomers. Context first. Dovetail's annual model is firmly sports game territory now. Train Sim World 6 launched September 30th, 2025 on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, and PC. There's a smart olive branch here. A free starter pack client lets you import your existing content and play the upgrade without buying the new edition, available through November 11th, 2025. That alone changes the calculus because the should I buy turns into do the new routes and features matter to me right now. The headline system this year is expect the unexpected, a variable layer that injects small failures and service issues into your timetable runs. Think dead wipers, signal headaches, or a line blockage that forces you to adapt on the fly. It's toggleable, which is crucial. If you want pure Zen driving, turn it off. If you want an extra layer of focus and replayability on top of an already absurd amount of content, each route ships with hundreds of timetables. You'll appreciate the friction. When it works, it's the good kind of unpredictability. Your hands settle into a rhythm, and suddenly you have to actually manage the railway instead of just ride it. The other notable addition is passenger announcements. They're limited to the new routes for now, and while that might frustrate longtime route hoppers, the immersion jump is undeniable. Rolling into a station with clear contextual calls just makes the world feel present. One review also highlighted livelier ambient audio in carriages, sneezes, grumbles, the usual human soundtrack, which helps kill that empty diorama vibe the series sometimes had. Between that and dynamic weather, there's a growing sense that time and place actually matter moment to moment instead of just painting the backdrop. Let's talk routes because that's where most players decide. The Riviera line in the UK is the crowd pleaser. It snakes along the Dawlish seawall, punches through seaside towns, and throws iconic red cliffs past your window. Multiple critics singled out how good the sim looks at golden hour, and how the route sells the passage of time across a single run. Leeds this isn't. It's a scenic hangout that shows off the engine. The Leipzig, Dresden expansion in Germany brings the iced tea and the showpiece arrival at Leipzig Hauptbahnhof, one of Europe's monsters. Tilt trains and smooth handling make this the cruise control for your soul pick if you want speed and efficiency. Then you've got New Jersey's Morristown line, a commuter workhorse anchored by the NJ Transit Aero 3 and friends. It's clunkier by design, and it shows off the randomness system best because commuter lines are where things break, delay, or detour. If you're here for grit and timetable management, this is your home. Console handling is better than you might expect for something with this many levers and toggles. On PS5, the control mapping for throttle, braking, cameras, and the map actually makes sense, and the training center remains a solid runway for new drivers. If you want full immersion, you can peel away the guidance layers. If you want a guided vibe, you can keep the training wheels. Quick Play lets you choose short sessions when life is noisy and longer hauls when the couch is calling. That flexibility matters more in a sim than people admit. Now the gripes, because they're real. Performance is improved, but not perfect. Multiple reviewers saw occasional hiccups on PS5 when new assets stream in, and some trackside geometry still looks low effort up close. The bigger issue is UX sprawl. With years of DLC carrying forward, the in-game library can feel like a garage stacked to the ceiling. Everything you love is in there, somewhere. If there's a thesis for why TSW6 feels incremental, it's this. The sim rides better, looks better, and sounds better, but the shell around it hasn't caught up to the sheer volume of content. A smarter library and ownership view would save players hours, not minutes. Pricing and additions will matter to your wallet. The base game sits around the usual $49.99, with a deluxe tier that bundles extra locomotives, and a special edition that piles on more legacy routes. There's even a Thomas and Friends edition if you're chasing pure comfort. The catch is the countries many fans are begging for, Japan, Portugal, the Czech Republic, are framed as upcoming DLC. The Tadami line in particular has hype written all over it, but it's separate. If those routes are your dream ticket, you might want to lean on the free starter pack now and pounce later. Let's contrast the broader sentiment. Push Square landed at a solid 7, praising the Riviera scenery, the passenger announcements, and the random events while dinging the annualized feel. UI clutter and PS5 stutters. The Xbox Hub hit about 3.5 out of 5 loading audio, cap detail, and the vibe of unpredictability, but wishing for a bigger marquee feature and noting visual bugs and some repetition in the random events pool. PS4 blog was a touch warmer at 7.5, highlighting the console control scheme, quick play structure, and a trophy hunt that nudges you across modes. The split isn't violent, it's a consensus best-in-class sim small yearly step. So here's Veteran Games' take. If one of the 3 new routes speaks to you, if you can smell the sea spray at Dawlish, crave the tilt of an ICT, or want to wrangle Jersey commuter chaos, TSW6 delivers a refined immersive ride you'll sink hours into. If you're new, it's a welcoming on-ramp with training that won't melt your brain. But if you're sitting on a fat TSW5 library and none of these lines are must-haves, the free starter pack import buys you time. Let the route you actually want decide your upgrade, not the number on the box. And if Dovetail really wants to silence the same game chorus next year, it's time for a headline leap, richer dispatching tools, deeper failures, a true collection manager, or a smarter passenger simulation that changes demand and service dynamically. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. If you're nodding or fuming, toss a like so this take actually survives the algorithm, and drop your route of choice in the comments. Final thought, and it's the spicy one. With a free client already in play and the DLC machine humming, the Train Sim World ditch annual releases and become a true platform with big paid expansions? Or do you prefer the clean slate every year?